Hello, my darling, and welcome to day 2 of the 100 Days of Self-Love Challenge. Today's video is all about giving yourself a break from self-criticism, a break from being judgy to yourself, and just learning how to. We're gonna be talking a lot about shit FM in the next 100 days, but it's learning how to quieten that voice, that critical voice. I mean, we all have moments in our life where we think we're doing the best we can, and we're trying to get everything done, and we're juggling we're women, right? So we're juggling a gazillion things, but then in our heads we're saying, but that's still not good enough. You're doing your best, and you know that you're working really hard and you're being this good human, but in your head you're like, well, that's just not good enough. And maybe your life is not what you imagined it to be, or you made New Year's resolutions at the beginning of January and you haven't stuck to them. So you just give yourself a hard time with your negative thinking and your self-criticism. And we all have this self-critical voice, this inner voice, this shit FM that tells us we're not good enough. It's a very critical voice. And we kind of use it because we think if we give ourselves a hard time, we're going to motivate ourselves to do better. But really, are we? It may make us do something now, but in the long term, it makes us feel defeated. It makes us reduce how much we love ourselves. We don't see ourselves as worthy. There's a quote by Louise Hay where she says, "You've been criticizing yourself for years and it hasn't worked. Try approving of yourself and see what happens." Right? Wouldn't that be a thing? If we know that criticizing ourselves doesn't work, what happens if we were nice and kind and approved of ourselves and accepted ourselves? So we're talking about trying to be more compassionate to ourselves today, and just talking to ourselves like we're someone that we love, being kind to ourselves. If you had a friend that, for example, was on, let's say she's on a diet, right? And she comes up to you and she says, "Oh my God, I'm supposed to be on this diet. And I just went out last night. We all had a few drinks and I got completely hammered. And I had this kebab on the way home. And then I got home and I dug into the chocolate cake. And I'm such a loser. Why can't I just be nice?" And off she went, right? You would never say to her, "Well, you're a lazy cow. God, can you just get a grip and get some willpower? My God, you fail at everything. How many times have you started this diet and failed?" You'd have no friends left, and you wouldn't dream of it, because in Western culture, we're brought up and it's kind of like the done thing to be kind to other people. The hashtag be kind, and we're taught about charity, and we're taught about being compassionate and do unto others as all that stuff. But who's teaching us to be kind to ourselves? Who's saying to us, actually, do you know what? It starts with you and being kind to yourself. So instead of saying in our own heads, "Oh, for God's sake, what's wrong with you? Again? Really? Again? You're going to do it again? And you've made a mess of it and blah." How about we said, as you would to somebody that you love, like a friend, or your child or your partner, how about if you said instead, "Sweetheart, it's okay. It's all right. I promise you. Listen, just recommit. You haven't blown anything. Nothing's wasted. Don't put it off till next week. Just recommit tonight. Recommit tomorrow morning. You're fine. You will get there, darling. You're amazing. You know you are." What would happen if we actually spoke to ourselves like that? And we actually said to ourselves, talk with kindness and sweetness and compassion. I'll tell you something, it would stop us from running away, because if we're constantly being mean and critical, where's the incentive to work harder? Because if every time you try and you fail, you just get beaten up, guess what? You're going to stop trying. We're humans, and we need that cheerleading. We need that compassion. We need that kindness. And we can do that for ourselves really easily, actually. It just, instead of, when you start to hear the shit FM, you start to hear that saboteur, that critical voice, instead of listening to her, just kind of say to her, hey, listen, thank you, but I'm being kind to myself. And just say to yourself, it's okay, sweetheart. You're okay. You've got this. You've done amazing things. You've moved mountains in your life. You can do this too. And then see what happens. And if you can do that for 100 days, if you can talk to yourself for 100 days like someone that you love, you would be shocked what you can actually do that's different in your lives. So we're going to be talking in the next 100 days about all kinds of things like forgiving yourself, valuing your uniqueness, not blaming yourself for all your past mistakes, and not thinking that you're the sum of all the mistakes. They don't define you. But this is just the general idea. The Dalai Lama said, caring for others requires caring for ourselves. And it actually is super true. We need to learn that we can only love other people as much as we love ourselves. If we want to care for other people, we have to care for ourselves. And we can start that by talking to ourselves in the same way that we would talk to someone that we love. Hope you've enjoyed today's video. Tune in tomorrow for day 3. And as always, if you want the worksheets, we don't do worksheets every single day, but if there's some worksheets that go along with some of the videos, you can sign up to that. The link is below. It's www.100daysofselflovechallenge.com. Put the link below. If you want to watch any of the videos or read any of my blogs, you can go to www.kategrosvenor.com. I hope to see you tomorrow for day 3.